everybody. It is me, Zach, and this is my podcast, The World According to Zach. And this is episode 2. During this podcast, I'm going to talk about all the great things that are going on in Sacramento, from arts and humanities to sports and amazing food. I will always be talking about all things housing. That's going to include the unhoused to first-time home buyers and our new $1 million neighborhoods. And then I'm always going to throw in a little bit of Zach stuff just for fun and to keep you listening. This week, I'm going to be talking to you about batteries, and I'm going to be talking to you about candles. Nope, the two don't go together, but if you want to hear more, you're going to have to wait till the end of the podcast. Now, before I get into all the great stuff that's going on in Sacramento, I wanted to give you a quick Malachite update. So he has had 2 physical therapy appointments where they're doing that cool laser treatments as well as the laser acupuncture. And then he has a TENS unit that he puts on that's going to help stimulating the muscles. So not only can he get up on his own now, but today before I came down here to film this, he stood for 5 entire minutes all by myself. Well, actually all by himself. But either way, it was super cool. I was so excited that I was able to watch it. And I'm just so excited for my little champion, for my little trooper. And I hope that he is able to walk again. So a lot of you asked, why am I doing this podcast? And so I wanted to make sure that I gave it the attention that it needs and answered your questions. And last year, I turned 50 in October, and I kind of had this aha moment where it's like I need to lead my life a little bit more intention and understand how valuable time is. So I love technology. I love finding out about all good things new. I love talking about topics that I think are important to everybody, like unhoused, and then finding homes and selling homes. And then I like to talk about me a little bit, and I thought that the podcast would be the best format to do it. So again, I'm only on my 2nd episode. It can only go up and get better with each episode. I am listening to what you guys are saying. For example, you said, look at the camera more, so I'm just trying to stare at it through this whole podcast this time. And then I think I'm going to put some title screens and fun like pop-up stuff that happen in the videos. So I went to Artmix the other week. I talked about it in my very first episode. It happens at the Crocker Art Museum every month, and every month is a different theme, and people get all dressed up, and it is great, and it's awesome. And this month's theme was mythical, and there was something about a runway show in it. And I showed up. I wish I had had the energy and time to come up with a costume, because all the mythical costumes that I saw were great. They were amazing. They inspired me. And then sometimes I wish I read a little bit better about everything that was going on or the finer details of some of these events. So my understanding is it was all recycled fashion, which is super cool and great for the environment. And there was 2 menswear collections that walked the runway, and there was looks on both of them that I would absolutely wear. And I did not get out of the event without buying something. I actually met this super cool guy. He's a costume, if not the costume designer for the Sacramento Opera. And I bought a jacket that he designed and made. So I thought that was super cool. Next month, again, is going to be Giggles and Comedy, and I can't wait to share that with you. There's more information on that in my bio and links everywhere. So I love hometown pride in sports. I like it when hometown fans get a little bit of crazy. So I grew up in Colorado, home of the Denver Broncos in the 70s and 80s. And I shit you not, people would paint the sides of mountains orange and entire subdivisions orange and blue when they started making it to the playoffs or the Super Bowl. And you know what I love about Sacramento is the Sacramento Kings. And the Sacramento Kings are just as wonderful and fanatical, especially with the color purple and lighting the beam. So you guys aren't painting mountains purple or subdivisions purple, but I can see you doing it. Instead, you guys are pointing this laser into the sky when the Kings win a game. They say the laser goes further than the eye can see. It's that great purple color, and They started lighting the beam in 2022, which I think is pretty cool. And I really always want the Kings to win and for us to light that beam. What a great way to get like the fans involved in all of that. So I have purple pride on today, some things that are purple. And then I have my purple sneakers that I always wear when the Kings are playing. And hopefully it gives them good luck and that they win and that we're able to light that beam. Go Kings! Okay, so let's say you had a great time at the Kings game last night. They won, they lit the beam, you and your friends stayed out till midnight, you had a great time, and you want to continue the party this morning, or you're with friends and family, and you want a great brunch, a place that I'm always going to recommend. It's a classic, it's a staple, everybody knows about it. It's Tower Cafe. They've got that great patio where you're underneath the canopy of trees and foliage and great flowers, and there's just great ambiance. The service is great. Their French toast is out of this world. If I could have it every single day, I would. Tower Cafe opened in 1990 on Earth Day, and who can't give props to anybody who opened something up on Earth Day? I mean, really, what a great day to open up a great restaurant. And right next to Tower Cafe is the Tower Theater, a great old school theater. It's been here forever, and they play the classic movies, they play the new movies, they've seen film festivals there, and the whole Tower Cafe, Tower Theater is really kind of the entrance into Land Park, and that's where we've got the Sacramento Zoo, and then we have Fairy Tale Town, and then we've got the beautiful park there, and hopefully I love Land Park, and that's going to let me transition into $1 million listings. Again, I want to thank my host of the property that I am selling here in Land Park. It is a beautiful 1940s home that's got all the charm, like wood-burning fireplaces that also burn gas, the high ceilings as you walk in. I mean, just all of that. And then it has the modern amenities that you expect with the 23 home, like including the saltwater pool out back and other things that you want. All the windows have been upgraded, new electric, new AC, furnace, water heater, all that great stuff. It is one of the great $1 million properties that we have for sale here in Sacramento. So speaking of $1 million listings, did you know that there is 89 $1 million plus listings for sale here in the greater Sacramento area, and that is a lot of $1 million homes. The most expensive one, I looked it up, is being sold for $9.4 million. It's just under 10,000 square feet. It's on 48 acres, and it reminds me of like Dynasty or Dallas, if you're old enough to remember those soap operas. It's just really a majestic property that has a lot of bells and whistles. So one of the standout properties of the $89 million plus properties was this one that I saw in Folsom, and it is pretty standout. It is super modern. Imagine like a white box on stilts with other white boxes popping out of it at different angles. It is 4 bedrooms, 5 baths, super modern, and it's being offered at $2,495,000. And I'll throw out a link if you want to take a closer look at that. And in addition to that, I also want to say that I'm seeing $1 million new builds happening more and more in different areas of Sacramento. The newest I saw were in West Sac and Folsom. So I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe that means that there's more variety for people who want to buy new in those $1 million price range. So if you want to do that, give me a call and I'll help you look and find the perfect property. So first-time home buyers, I know that getting your first home can be a challenge. You're scraping together all of those funds so that you can come up with the down payment and all the closing costs that are associated with that, so you can get into into your first home. So I want to make sure that those of you in California are aware of 2 down payment assistance programs. There's CalHFA, which is the California Housing Financial Authority, and then there is the ESFA Platinum program, and that's from the Golden State Financial Authority. Both of these programs are going to help you with your down payments. There are income limits, and you need to be in a credit range, I think, of 640. So check the links that I'm going to throw up. Start early, get organized, especially if you're planning on moving soon or right after school lets out. Now's the time to start thinking about those moves, planning, thinking about where you can get all the funds from, and all of that great stuff. Hey, I wanted to talk about the unhoused for a minute. So I know that there's thousands and thousands of unhoused people here in the greater Sacramento area. And dealing with the topic as a whole can be completely overwhelming. So I want to make sure that I talked about some of the good things that we're doing to get the unhoused and housing crises under control, especially here in Sacramento. So in Sacramento, we are building a lot of tiny home communities for unhoused. We actually have one in South Sac that is kind of a success already. So this one has 125 beds. It's off of Florin Road. And so they are at capacity. They've also found 10 people permanent housing. So far they've pulled 135 unhoused people off the streets. Now, if you want to keep track of the numbers, the last time we did a point in time count in Sacramento, we had 9,278 unhoused people in Sacramento. Now, we subtract 135 from that, and now we only have to find 9,143 solutions for the rest of the unhoused. Now, I'm confident that we can do this. We've got a lot of great people looking at it from a lot of different ways, so I'm excited about that. And I just want to say, let's keep moving forward as quickly and efficiently as possible. I want to say thank you, first of all, for listening so long, and I hope that you learned or gained some knowledge on some stuff, and you figured out maybe a fun place to go, and thanks for hanging in there. I promised you some fun stuff at the very end, and we've come to that fun stuff. And the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is car batteries. I know it's sexy, but I think this is kind of funny. So did you know that Priuses have regular car batteries? Because I didn't know this. I, in my head, thought that the lithium battery that charges as it goes, that gives you the great gas mileage, also would have acted as like the battery for the whole car. Well, guess what? It isn't. And this is how I found out. So the other morning, I got in my car, and then across my dashboard, there was an error message, 12-volt battery low. So like the rest of us, I got on YouTube. What do I have to do? And the first thing that kept popping up was this hack so that you could start your car even when the 12-volt battery was low, so you could get to like an auto store to get a new battery, etc. So FYI, my car just said it was low and it wouldn't restart, couldn't get it started at all. So I think if you have a 2020 Prius or newer, those YouTube hacks aren't going to work. The good thing is that I have a roommate that has a car. So I went up to AutoZone, and here was my kind of thinking that was going on in my head. So I was thinking a 9-volt battery, one of those little rectangle batteries that are like that big, and they have the two little round things on the end, are pretty affordable, and that's 9 volts. So if it's 12 volts, it can't be much bigger, couldn't cost that much more, although it's probably going to cost a little bit more just because it's a Prius and it's a vehicle, and they can charge more for that stuff. So I walk into the AutoZone, or I think it's an AutoZone, talking with the guy. I need, a battery, a 12-volt battery for the 2020 Prius. I feel like I'm talking super knowledgeable and everything. We're kind of talking back and forth, and I go, oh, how much is it going to be? And he's like, $250. And I look up just as he plops down a regular size battery in front of me. And that's when I quickly realized that even the hybrid vehicles need a regular size battery. And that's when I also learned that I have no concept about the science or how batteries work and why a 12-volt battery would be so much bigger than a 9-volt battery. And if somebody could tell me that, that would be great. But in the end, I know that Priuses have regular batteries and that 12-volt batteries are a lot bigger than 9-volt batteries. Hey, Okay, and the final funny thing I wanted to leave you with today is the candle story. Now, I absolutely adore my stepmother, Kathy. She does great work in the community. She is a doctor. She helps with end of life stuff. And then she does some kind of hippie new age stuff with Reiki and energy work. So I'm always getting things with stones or crystals. And I kind of believe in it a little bit because I think when you say, a crystal or stone means this, and then you hold it with you, you kind of think of having that intention. So I digress a little bit, but that's what I kind of think about on crystals and stones. So she's always going on Etsy to get me the best gifts, and this is my Christmas gift, and it arrived way late, but it arrived this week, and it is a candle, and it is a handmade, I want to make sure I'm saying this right, so I'm kind of looking at my notes. So it's a handmade custom candle that's supposed to attract wealth and abundance. Hey, I am all in for anything that's going to bring in health and abundance. And every little thing that they've added to this candle really does have meaning when you're talking about energy work and everything and how they all come together. You know, I'm just going to say that each piece that they have in there has meaning. And in this particular candle, there is like pyrite and tiger eye and gold leaf and bay leaf and some other things. And, but here's this thing about this candle, and maybe everybody has to do a lot of extra things to make candles bring abundance and wealth, but it needs its own shrine. You have to write your intention on a piece of paper, fold it in half, and put it underneath the candle. You have to remove certain crystals and elements of the candle before you start to burn the candle. You have to burn the candle a certain way and for a certain time. And then those crystals and elements that you removed from the candle before you lit it have to be washed, and they have to be within a certain distance of the candle. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other things that I haven't been able to read and figure out about because I was like, the candle needs a shrine. But hey, it's a lot of work, but it's going to be worth it because just like money and abundance and wealth that way, it doesn't really come easy. So I'm all in, even if it isn't just lighting a candle and these things come my way. So and the candle. So let me show you the candle. I'm going to bring it up to you guys really fast. So there you go. Now you know what I'm talking about. And that's it. That's all I have got for this episode of The World According to Zach, episode number 2. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another bunch of great topics, places you can go, all that good stuff, housing stuff that's going on. And so I hope you guys keep listening, tuning in, and watching. And all the links will be in my bios, or I'll drop them in the chat and other places where you can see them. Thanks again for tuning in. Remember to make every day a great day. And I can't wait to see you guys again in 2 weeks. Talk to you soon.